Here we are. Okay. First time. It didn't work the first time. Had to do it a second time. Hey, I'm Tom Young. We're here for Money Shifts podcasts on anchor.com and Facebook Live. Interesting today. The title today of our talk is hyperinflation here today? I don't know, but boy, I'll tell you what, the prices of a lot of things are starting to climb very, very quickly. How do we plan and how do we prepare? We're going to talk about a lot of different subjects today in our short period of time. But before we start every program, we offer our prayers for everybody around the world that is impacted by this COVID-19. As we hear more and more information coming out about the origins of this thing and what has transpired, it is truly, truly disturbing to me, as I'm sure it is to many of you, to realize how much bad stuff and bad information has really been spread around, shared around, and whatever. It's almost at the point of being scary. But our prayers go out for everyone, that you be safe, be sound. If you get sick, you get over it. I believe that is the answer to everything. So our prayers go out to everybody. Our prayers also go out to those of you who have actually lost loved ones during this period of 15 to 16 months and what has transpired. And we also pray for those who have been lost, that the Lord would open his arms, gather them into his kingdom above for their future security and certainty of their lives and their lifetime in heaven. In Jesus' name we pray. Let's get started today. And interesting, I have several topics today. The first one is our word today is determination. Are you determined to succeed? Are you determined to get over the current challenges that lay in front of you? Realize that, the more you look down at your snakes and dragons at your feet, the more stuck you're going to become. You need to focus on the great thing that you believe can happen in your life. The dreams, the goals, those things out in front of you that are there for everybody's taking. But it takes work to get there. It isn't going to be handed to you in any way, shape, or form. The government is not going to hand it to you. They are not going to send you a check to fulfill all of your dreams. Their goal is to make you, my brain, is to make you dependent on them. Determination, firmness of purpose, resoluteness. The process of establishing something exactly by calculation or research. A determination. Being determined in our life, being determined in our goals and dreams and moving forward. That keeps us out of the life of an acceptable level of mediocrity. Wilma Rudolph, quote, I ran and ran and ran every day, and I acquired this sense of determination, this sense of spirit that I would never, never give up, no matter what else happened. One day on the plains of Africa, a young water buffalo named Walter approached his dad and asked him if there was anything that he should be afraid of. He said, only lions, my son, his dad responded. Oh, yes, I've heard about lions. If I ever see one, I'll turn and run as fast as I can, said Walter. No, that's the worst thing you can do, said his father. Why? They are scary and will try to kill me. The dad smiled and explained, Walter, if you run away, the lion will chase you and catch you. And when they do, they will jump on your unprotected back and bring you down. So what should I do? Asked Walter. If you ever see a lion, stand your ground to show him that you're not afraid. If he doesn't move away, you show him your sharp horns and stomp the ground with your hooves. If that doesn't work, move slowly towards him. And if that doesn't work, charge him and hit him with everything you've got. That's crazy. I'll be too scared to do that, replied the startled young water buffalo. What if he attacks me back? Look around, Walter. What do you see? Walter looked around and the rest of his herd. There were about 200 massive beasts, all armed with sharp horns and huge shoulders. If ever you're afraid, know that we are here. If you panic and run from your fears, we can't save you. But if you charge toward them, we'll be right behind you. Great message. The young water buffalo breathed deeply and nodded. Thanks, Dad, he said. I think I understand. We all have lions in our worlds. There are aspects of life that scare us and make us want to run. But if we do, they will chase us down and take over our lives. Our thoughts will become dominated by the things that we are afraid of, and our actions will become timid and cautious, not allowing us to reach our full potential. In the Bible, it says in James 4:7, resist the devil and he will flee from you. Interesting thoughts. Remember, our book this month is Living Above the Level of Mediocrity. Chapter 4 on here, the title of the chapter is It Calls for Extravagant Love. Please do not touch. That brief imperative is seldom ever found scrawled in a bold manner. Instead, it's usually neatly printed in elegant places stating the obvious, because there are always a few fools who are anxious to rush in where angels would not dare. Those 4 words appear as a warning, so people won't try to handle priceless things in a careless manner. The untouchable may be something as small as a fine china cup or as large as one-of-a-kind classic car. Instead of handling such things, we encouraged merely to enjoy them from a distance. Look, but keep your hands off. You know, we have all this advice going on, and the things that I talk about here really encompass a lot of things. You know, we have family, financial, friends, spiritual, physical. We have all these attributes of our lives. And we need to be conscious of all of these attributes at different times so that we work and live a life of balance, not one over the other. If you make money your God, you are bound to lose. There are great men, and I don't have them here in front of you today, but there are many, many great men in history that were multi-billionaires, millionaires, and so forth, and they died penniless and broke because they made the wrong things important in their life. You know, one of the things that I talk about in this book called Busting the Life Insurance Lies, in the chapter today, lie number 5, all life insurance companies are the same. And you know, it's interesting when I have conversations with people about that. It really comes down to some very basic information that we have to understand. Are the people that I'm doing business with, are they in business to serve me or for me to serve them my money? It's important. I've talked about this before. Basically, there are 2 kinds of life insurance companies. The first kind are corporations, stockholder-owned companies that owe their allegiance to stockholders, and the profits of the companies flow in that direction. So their operation, their modus of operandi is to make profit for the stockholders. Their answer many times is that we sell a competitive product. And many times when you buy products that meet or are in that competitive arena, you know, auto insurance, homeowners insurance, and different kinds of insurances, we always want to make sure that we're paying a fair competitive price. But things like life insurance are not in that competitive arena. Term life insurance might be in that competitive arena, which means you're renting coverage. But if you're looking for an asset, a place to accumulate wealth and to store wealth outside of the eyes of the federal government and the tax man, then whole life insurance is the product. Now, there are two kinds of companies. Remember, there are the stockholder-owned companies, and then there are the dividend-paying mutual life insurance companies that are basically owned by the policyholders. If there wasn't, let me pose a question to you. If there wasn't substantial profit in this insurance business, why would so many corporations be formed and become insurance companies with stockholders that invested in the company in the beginning and ongoing for the purpose of finding a profit? The insurance industry is a very, very profitable world of business, mainly because of actuarial sciences. Now, what are actuarial sciences? Those are those people, actuaries, that study possibilities and probabilities and come up with mathematical equations that sometimes a mathematical formula may encompass dozens or more of pages just in one formula. But basically what they do in the life insurance arena is, out of so many millions of lives, how many people are going to die at whatever age they die at? What are the probabilities? What are the possibilities? And they study these numbers on spreadsheets, etc., to come up with probabilities. You know, we talk about life expectancy. We talked about that. In 1890, when a guy named Bismarck in Germany said that German workers who reach age 65 have earned a right to stop working and receive some kind of government stipends. But life expectancy is age 49 at that time. Franklin Delano Roosevelt come along in 1932, created Social Security, and said we would start it at age 65. Life expectancy was 59 years old. Today, we still have this age 65, moved it a little bit to age 67, but life expectancy today is age 87. So if you're sitting here beating yourself up, looking at retirement at 65, if in fact you can do that, you are a very, very lucky person. The only problem is even the people that I find that they are able to manage their income currently at age 65 or 68 or 70 and actually can retire, in their mind, very, very few people will survive long term, because even if the historical inflation of the government, without hyperinflation, just the historical average for 30 plus years at 3%. In 25 years, a dollar will only be worth 47 cents in purchasing power. If I add hyperinflation into that for a few years, which I believe we are approaching right now, the crash of the government is at hand. They cannot continue to spend money at the level they are spending money. Did you get your refund yet? I had a program the other day. We talked about that. I know a handful of people right now that I have talked to that have not yet received their tax refund check. Now, does that mean the government doesn't have the cash flow to pay it? I don't know. But all of the things that you look at in the financial marketplace and the government printing money and the president wanting to spend another $6 or $7 trillion of money that we don't have, that doesn't exist, it has to be printed. And every dollar they print takes a little bit of value away from your dollar that you have in your pocket. That is what inflation is. Let me finish up today with a quote. Let's go to our quote book today. And who are we quoting today? I think we're talking about Mr. George Washington, the first president of the United States. Let me give you a couple of his quips. Labor to keep alive in your breast that little spark of celestial fire called conscience. A slender acquaintance with the world must convince every man that actions, not words, are the true criterion of the attachment of friends. Associate with men of good quality if you esteem your own reputation, for it is better to be alone than in bad company. Be courteous to all, but intimate with few, and let those few be well tried before you give them your confidence. Things to think about, folks. We need to work at and think better every day. We'll have some more quotes tomorrow. We'll be back at noon tomorrow with more information, inspiration, challenging you to grow. You must grow to survive the coming financial storm. There's a financial storm in America, but that financial storm reaches around the world. I pray for those of you that are in the storm already, that you have put aside reserves to get you through the storm. Get my book, The Family Money Farm, The CFO Project. Get it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, any of the big booksellers. You can communicate with me here, send me a message, and I will provide it to you. We'll pay for it through PayPal in that way or with a credit card. You can also get it if you go here, cfo-project.com. There it is up there. Put your name and email address in there, and you can get a free download, an instant download of the book cover to cover. This book will change your life. My whole life of 45 years learning about money and how money works is in this book. There are stories of actual clients in the book, where they started, how they traveled along the way, and where they are today. I think you will find the stories very interesting. They are at all levels of the income spectrum. That being said, God bless to everybody. I'm praying for everybody. See you here tomorrow at noon.